Hi, Jim, Brian,
Good evening.
Hello.
Margie.
How y'all doing?
Good. Jim, what do you use for a video camera?
Did you say video?
Yeah, what are you using tonight?
Oh, it's a Logitech. I couldn't tell you a model number.
Okay.
I've had it for years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm curious, why did you ask?
It's a little washed out.
Is it, okay, that's interesting.
You are washed out, your background is not.
Okay, I think that's more the lighting on me.
I think so?
I don't know. You're saying the background's clear though?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I've got a room light that's on behind me, and I don't really have anything in front of me other than an overhead lamp on my desk.
Yeah.
And I've got a white sheet of paper to try to reflect some of that light towards me. So maybe there's too much of that. Let me just see what this does. That's without the light, but it looks to me on my screen, it looks dark that way.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which looks more appealing, but.
I'll send a copy to you. I'll send you what I see.
Oh,
Move forward, Jim. Move forward. Yeah,
Why?
because you looked better. I just wanted to see what you looked like again when you.
Well, to be honest with you, my knees are against the desk. So the only way to move forward would be for me to lean forward like this, which would not be very comfortable.
Right, but I just wanted to see your face.
Oh,
And
Well,
it does,
screen-
it has a lot of color to it when you were closer to the
I did a
monitor.
screen capture, Jim, and send it to you.
did you send an email, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't got here yet. Chris, the other thing, maybe I didn't put the proper amount of makeup on this evening.
No, I don't think that's it.
That might do it.
My stylist wasn't here to help me tonight.
Hi, Beth.
Hello.
I bet.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what I kind of look like here, Dennis.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lighting issue.
Yeah, it could be.
Hello, DL.
Hello.
Oh, you want to say hi? Okay.
Let's see your baby. That's a picture of the bog in the back of you.
Yeah.
My two babies, I let them loose. They ran for the bog, jumped in, and took off.
Ugh.
I had to open the sunroof, all four windows, and it still wasn't good. I would not let them in the house until after they had a bath. They stunk so bad.
Do you
I
hose
went-
them off in the backyard?
Uh-huh. I couldn't stop them before they did it,
Yeah.
because that's the last place I wanted them to be.
Yes, you'd do that too, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. Oh. Biggest baby. Whew. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you.
So I was looking, Allegheny County just issued today issued a stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to affect our trip to the zoo on Sunday, because that's in Allegheny County. I just looked at their website. There's no update there as of right now, but I'll keep an eye on that for the next few days. I don't really know. I was just reading through their rules, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's recommended, but not
Mandatory.
not mandatory yet. But it might be. It may not be. They want you to cancel Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure what they're doing. As
They close anything down? I mean, any bars, restaurants, gyms?
No, but they're saying you're not allowed to have more than 10 people in a inside. So that
Right,
kind of eliminates a lot of stuff for inside. But
right.
it's not a set forth, straightforward thing if you read through their rules, which I have done already today. But I don't know what the deal is. I can't figure all those rules out. They don't make sense.
It's not a mandate, it's just a recommendation.
What's that,
It's
DL?
not a mandate, it's just a recommendation, at least right now.
Right. So I don't know how it's going to affect our trip. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it does, and see if the zoo updates anything on their website.
Well, Brian, I'm not sure what you had read, but I know just watching the news a few minutes ago, the way they put it was a, quote, stay-at-home order. The only exceptions being to go to school, go to work, go get some groceries. It didn't say anything about exercise or recreation,
Right.
which would imply that places like the zoo, technically speaking, you shouldn't be going to, which seems a bit bizarre, but.
I understand it, but it says a stay-at-home and stop social gatherings advisory has been issued. And then if you read further down, it says the person in charge, his last name is Bogan, said if cases increase, she can issue an order which can be enforced. So it's not an order, it's just an advisory. So it's not saying that you have to do it, but it is an advisory that they want you to do it. So that'll be up to the businesses, I believe,
Yep.
To make a decision. But they're saying 20 persons, including people from more than one household, held outside of private residence, parks, or recreational spaces, or event spaces. But they're not saying anything about you can't go to a park or you can't go to something, but they want you to stay home. So I don't know. like I said, as I read more, the more of it I read, the more confused I got because it doesn't really make sense. It contradicts itself quite often, as has almost everything about this.
It's probably being written more by the lawyers than by the health experts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Marty, did you get your computer fixed?
You're mute.
Yeah, I think I got it fixed.
Hi, buddy. Yeah,
Hopefully.
I didn't expect you already. I move, Grace. Move.
I have a question.
Yes.
How can I go back to the previous Lightroom?
You can't.
No way under earth. I can go back to the previous Photoshops. So I should be able to go back to the previous Lightroom.
Why do you want to do that?
Get rid of all that new junk. I like the last one we had. I don't like the new Lightroom. I'm used to doing it one way. And when they add new stuff and take other stuff away like they've done with Photoshop, it irritates me.
Mm.
I mean, keep the old stuff and add new stuff. I don't care, but I just don't like it. So there's no way possible, even though you can do it with Photoshop?
Yeah, because Photoshop doesn't have anything to do with a catalog. When you updated Lightroom, it updates the catalog, and it tells you right then that once that happens, you can't go backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that you can't change the Lightroom, but it won't understand the catalog anymore.
When they updated, didn't they save the old catalog?
No, it updates that catalog.
It says it's going to convert it.
It converts the catalog to the new version.
If you have a backup of it in the older
Yeah.
version,
I
you
do.
might be able to go back to that catalog if you had a copy of the older version that you could reinstall.
No.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the older version. I mean, I have a copy of a real old version from 2 years ago where you can buy them on the side, but not in with the online one. I don't have a copy of that. Dang it.
Hang on a second.
So what has everybody been up to? Wow.
Yeah, the excitement of my day was getting groceries today. I got a couple new cookbooks, so I'm trying out some like healthier stuff. We'll see how that goes.
Well, that's important.
Yeah,
That's good.
Ain't going to school, or is he schooling at home?
they have, as of this week, like today was his first day back, they started going back to the hybrid. The week of Halloween, they sent the kids home completely for about 3 weeks. And this week is his first week back. And it's back to the every other. But I don't know how long that'll last. So.
Well, Gracie was exposed, so we're in quarantine. One of the staff members at her school tested positive.
Oh.
And I said, well, did she have any direct contact? And she goes, well, she may have had direct contact. It's like, it's either a yes or no.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd have pretty good track of who's where, because they're not supposed to be mixing too much lately.
Yeah, okay.
But
They wear their masks like this or like this, the adults.
Yeah, the chain,
yeah,
chin mask.
And then they say, well, the kids don't have to. We can't enforce it. I said, well, they can enforce it to go to the grocery store. You still
Yeah.
at school.
most of the kids that I've seen have been better about it than the adults.
Yeah, Gracie's pretty good about wearing
'Cause we
her.
did it all through soccer.
Yeah, Gracie's pretty good about it. So they don't go back until January 8th.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't think she's going back.
Yeah, until he gets under control. Well, I've been in quarantine 3 times. So 1 time for 6 weeks.
Well, I've been pretty much quarantined the whole year. I haven't gone too many places. So,
Margie, just out of curiosity, why 6 weeks?
I was sick. I couldn't get out of bed for 6 weeks.
Oh,
I think I had the virus. My doctor says she thinks I had the virus too. I couldn't breathe.
Did they do a blood test?
Yep, and it came back negative.
Then you didn't have the virus.
Yeah.
Or the test wasn't done that well. If it was a blood one, those don't always pick stuff up.
Yeah.
I
I
do
had
know
every-
where there are some antibody tests just sitting around not doing anything. But those don't always work right either direction. So
Yeah. Yeah, they said that they get a lot of false negatives.
yeah.
And, why even take a test anymore because of it? But I had every symptom except for I could still taste. But every other symptom, the fever, everything. You go down the line and check it off, and that was me. And I really couldn't breathe. Oh, my God, I thought I was going to die.
We're glad you didn't.
Thank you.
yeah.
I didn't hear anything from you, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose I'm glad you didn't die too.
Yeah, I was waiting.
you had to think
I've
about
got-
that.
Hey, I've got more pictures
I-
of you I can share.
I had to consider that option there.
Definitely siblings in a former life.
Yes. We haven't had a good argument in a long time, Brian. It's been at least a month and a half. No fun in life if we're not arguing, or he's not aiming for the side of the bridge or something. And he's supposed to be on tonight.
Just as information, we submitted the proposal for the museum exhibit today. And I received an email back later in the afternoon acknowledging receipt and that they'd have to review it. Apparently they have some type of internal committee within the museum staff to review these proposals, but they thought they might get back to us in a couple of weeks or so.
What kind of response did you get from the club?
Say the question again, Dennis?
What kind of response did you get from the club?
Response relative to,
The submission, how many, did you get a good selection of,
oh, response from our members, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, we did.
good.
Well, let's see, I think there was roughly 15 people that submitted an accomplishments list, if you will. So there was about a page and a half or so of 11 font or 12 font down the page of accomplishments. And then for the photo portfolio, I don't recall the number of photos, but there's probably roughly 30 or so. So yeah, I thought it was good.
Anybody sell anything at Irwin?
No,
Not that I know of.
I haven't heard of anybody.
Well, I'll tell you what, since we have a little bit of silence here, Suzanne and I exchanged a couple of emails over the last week or so, and one of the subjects was just, I think it was maybe a result of that back up sometime within the last couple of weeks or so ago, I showed my problem with exposure of the moon and the background areas. And we got to talking about exposure for the sun, which is kind of impossible just by definition, if you will. But Suzanne, I did want to mention, just show you one other thing, a quote trick that I learned, but it's obviously, at least I haven't perfected it, but I'll show it to you and you can decide whether it's something you want to attempt doing or not. So
That's good.
I can take over here. So I know you guys, for the most part, and girls, would use Photoshop for this application, but I can describe it to you so that even though I'm going to show it to you on one photo raw, it's fairly straightforward and you should be able to adapt it quite easily for Photoshop. So give me a second here. I'm going to move you people out of the way. First off, I guess I should ask, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a raw photo from a few years ago down at Sanibel Island, a sunset photo. And as you would expect in this situation, the sun's definitely blown out and there's all these strange colors and whatnot, things coming from it. So just by coincidence, I saw a video within the last week and particularly for On1, it was an On1 video on how to correct this type of thing or to minimize the look of the sun being blown out like this. And so I'll explain what I'm doing in On1, but I'm pretty sure you can fairly simply do this in Photoshop as well. So in On1, they have this effects, and you can add filters. So in this case, let me just, I'll just start from scratch here so I can show it to you. So I'm going to add a filter, and one of the filters is called blur. And I'm pretty sure you have this type of filter available to you in Photoshop.
Right.
So in this case, because of the masking, the whole photo is the blur effect. So what I'm going to do is go to the masking. I'm going to invert the mask so that now nothing is showing the blur. And I'm going to get a brush up here, and here's my brush. And I've got it at, and this is where I'm not sure the settings may help or not, because the result's not going to be great because I haven't really spent much time trying to get the best out of it. So as far as the size of the brush and the amount of feathering, there may be a way to optimize this, but nevertheless, I'll go ahead and do that. Oh, hold on, I got to paint in. Okay, so there the blur's been applied. Let me get you out of the way again here. So the blur is being applied to the sun itself. Whoops, what did I do? Let me get the mask off. Now, so there's one more step. That was just applying the blur. And the reason I thought this would be good follow-up to the Brian's Photoshop when we started talking about the blending modes the other day. The final step in the process is to apply a blend mode.
You lost your screen,
You
Jim.
lost your screen.
Oh, we did. Okay, let's see here.
Okay.
I like lost everything in Zoom here somehow. I've got one little box. There we go. Okay. Let me try this again. Sorry. Okay. So there's the blur applied to the sun. And then the next step is to go to your blending options. And the normal mode is, oh yeah, the regular mode would be normal. And I'm going to change that to screen. And so you can decide whether that's a better version of the photo or not. So this is with the blur applied, and that's without the blur applied. And again, I haven't had an opportunity to play with the settings, so I don't know if you can get a better version of this or not. But I just thought it would be worth mentioning that this is at least one application that you might consider a practical application for playing with the blending modes. So Suzanne, you can give that a try if you think it might help your sunsets or sunrise.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Well, those other suggestions you gave me are good ones too. So I got a lot to work with now. But at least I know, like what you said, what I was trying to do was kind of impossible, you know, without some extra help. So that's good to know.
All right.
Thanks.
So in the last week, Dennis and Suzanne have submitted tree photos for the Hannistown portfolio. Thank you. I think, Beth, am I mistaken? Did you submit some earlier or no?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I know I need to. I've got tree photos because I take pictures of rocks, trees, and streams, but I haven't gotten that organized yet to actually find them and put them there.
Yeah. I think there's roughly a half a dozen or so that have submitted photos till now.
I have them in a folder to put in there.
You have them in a folder into Google Drive. Well, then you're 10 seconds away,
I know.
maybe 30.
You're ahead of me.
You said it didn't matter what size?
I'm sorry to be, when you mean size, Margie,
When you crop it? I mean,
the aspect ratio, it does not matter at all.
okay, good. Well, I have several of them in a folder so far.
Good. Well, we've got 2 more weeks, but I just figure I'd keep on trying to twist elbows.
Yeah, keep reminding me.
Well, I saw you had it in the Sunday update, Beth, so thanks for that.
Yeah, I remember to put things there, but then I don't remember to actually do them myself.
Yeah.
Like half of the calls for artist things that I've had in there lately, I haven't done anything with.
Don't forget about the photographer's choice, everyone. Need to get those pictures taken, loaded into Reddit. Has anybody been out there taking pictures this month?
No.
Been to Phipps a couple times.
Yeah, I'm still trying to take some more tree photos.
We'll have a lot of fall ones for that, but you know, we've got a lot of evergreens up here too.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a wet snow so we could go get some snow pictures.
Yeah, me too. Didn't last very long.
But that's okay. I'm not disappointed. I'm sure it'll be there before we know it.
Nate was like, "Oh, it's snowing. Can I go sledding?" Not yet. Wait for it to actually stay on the grass.
Yeah, Grace was excited about it.
There was 2 inches in a mountain yesterday.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. My buddy lives up there. He told me this morning. He said there was 2 inches of snow last night.
Is it still there? I guess it
doubt
would
it.
be as cold as it was.
I doubt it, but yeah, he said it was there yesterday.
Yeah, when I go across the mountain, it's always like 10 degrees colder, a lot more snow than what we have here in Ligonier.
Brian, I can't help but think that you look like Alan tonight. Yeah. That's about right.
So what y'all plan on for Thanksgiving?
We're not allowed to do anything. They just said we're not. They don't want anyone to do anything.
Oh, you're gonna have a pickup, takeout,
I'm going to Sheets.
sandwiches?
Yeah, Sheets is open.
Sheets.
I'm doing what I do every Thanksgiving. I'm going to Sheets. And I'll probably look at auction cars all day and see if I can buy anything.
Small, big,
Cars for the
small.
roll-up.
Well,
Brian, did you officially get your promotion?
I have unofficially gotten my promotion.
Okay.
you did get
Yeah.
it though.
It's the worst kind of promotion.
Sort of. I won't get it for sure for 100% officially till January.
Promotion to what?
Used car manager for Solomon Chevrolet.
Good. Good for you. I have some photos from Phipps I took this month. Some with mine. I have a 100 millimeter Canon, the old style, and I rented 100 millimeter L series Canon macro, and I took both to Phipps and tried them. Anybody want to see them?
Yep.
Sure.
Oh,
Work on it.
Excuse me.
Hey, Dennis,
Yes, sir.
before you start showing us your photos, if any were taken this month,
Oh, I put one up.
well, and you wanted to enter it in the monthly contest, don't show it to us because technically you can't.
You're making it difficult, Jim. And I did put one up. In any case. So these aren't triaged very well. So you have to forgive me. It's a lot. There we go. So it was the fall mum show. And I can't translate into cell yet. Oh, shut up. I think you've seen this one.
I like that one. Cool.
Getting close to it's an interesting texture. It's an unusual point of view.
I really like that one.
Dennis, go back to the previous photo if you don't mind. So is that the very interior then on that photo you just showed us?
No, it's a different flower.
Oh, okay.
This is a round one. It's much more ball-like. It has these, I don't know what you call them, these petals that sort of wrap around the flower. Close up of an interior. You know, and I was trying to experiment with the macros, and I'm at ISO 2000 here, at about f10, and you have a couple of issues. Handshake, because if you focus and move, you're going to get blurry, and that's one thing I found with the 100L lens. It was much better in grabbing a focus and holding it, but it's also stabilized. And I got I think I was pretty pleased with results. There were a lot of in-focus results, where with the old Canon, it was a little more hit or miss. And I'm experimenting here with a little vignetting. These curly things are an interesting photographic subject. It's unusual, and it makes for a nice square image. You know, you get to know it's a flower, but you get your focus drawn to these curlicue things.
Different than the usual, like almost Fibonacci sequence type patterns that you see.
Mickey.
What's that?
Little different than the almost Fibonacci type sequence
Yeah.
pattern.
Yeah. And this is after Melissa with taking a flower and putting 4 copies on a canvas and lining them up, and the result is unique and unusual, but I'm afraid to get tired of it. If you were to put it on a wall and look at it for some period of time, it's kind of neat to do.
It looks pretty neat too.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, this one turned out pretty well. I have 2, I think. Another close-up.
I'm partial to them.
What's that?
I said I'm partial to the kaleidoscopes.
Yeah. You know, I'm probably a few inches from the flower at this point.
Dennis, did you do anything with natural? Was this all natural lighting, or did you use flash?
It's ambient.
Ambient light, okay.
It's whatever Phipps provided is what I use.
They all have a really nice look to them.
Yeah. And I avoided, you know, that you get opportunities where you get reflection off a window like a what do I
Array or
call it?
something.
Like a reflector, where the flower is lit up a little bit. But again, the camera with the ISO 2000, and the one thing I will do is Greg Benz has, remember we had a Lightroom program where you could do smoothing based on ISO. Greg Benz, who has Lumenzia, I think is the product he has, offered a little routine you could put in Lightroom that would execute this smoothing based on ISO. And I normally do that on all the photos with this ISO 2000. And the other thing I'll do is I might have taken 20 of these, trying to make sure I get the focus at a reasonable point, and I didn't have any camera shake. And then I do go through and I pick one and get rid of the other 9 or 19.
Dennis, what did you say you used in Lightroom for the ISO?
Suzanne, Lightroom allows you to do smoothing based on ISO. And I used I think it's called a preset. I can show you, and I will, that executes that automatically. You press the button and you can see the noise decrease. But that's been a pretty effective tool.
So it works like with the color and luminance and
I don't know.
contrast and everything?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Here's one. It'd be nice to be a little bit sharper here. You know, Brian, one of the things we might have a little program on is focus stacking, which I've never done. And not that I want the flower in focus from the front to the back. I mean, I think that's unnatural, but it would be nice to get a little more depth of focus on like an image like this, which you could do with focus stacking.
Yeah. Okay.
Residual color one. Every once in a while, I'll do a color one. You know, and it's
That was a good one to choose for color.
What's that?
So that was a good one to choose for color.
Yeah. And, you know, because if you're going to have a good black and white, you need good contrast. And when you get a flower like this, it's all in the color world, it's kind of uniform. It's sometimes not going to convert very well to a black and white.
Did you spray the flowers yourself, or did
No.
they?
But this is we go into Phipps in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Either 9:30 or if we're going to go on Monday, it's 10:30. They're not open at 9:30. But the rest of the week they're open at 9:30. So we try and get there first, and they've just watered the flowers, and that's the lowest crowd density. 9:30 in the morning. The Christmas program opens up Friday, and you got to get tickets. And we're going to go on Tuesday. We're going at 10:30 on Monday. So we'll spend a couple hours and come home. Your hand gets tired of holding the camera. And I don't know if they'll allow you to bring a tripod. It used to be you could only do that Sunday morning. And I haven't pursued that further, so I don't know the answer. Interior of some sort of mum. And this is another one that this one I think, in fact, I entered in the November contest. So don't look at this one. Another mum.
Beautiful.
The little petals, the turning back into the center. It's kind of interesting. Makes an unusual flower. It's not the way flowers are normally photographed. And this is a different version of one of the first ones I showed, where I showed the whole flower. And here I only show basically a quarter or a third of it.
Is this the same one you entered?
It's a different shot.
It is?
The same flower.
Okay.
And as we go through these, we go from the old lens to the new lens, which I rented.
I'm sorry, I had a question on this one, and I kind of noticed the effect on the one that you have at Feathers.
Yeah.
So the relative darkness of the petals, I assume they're a solid color petal, whether they're white or pink or whatever.
No, they're at least two primary colors. It's probably purple and white.
Okay, because I was confused, if you will, on how you got so much per petal, if you will, so much contrast between the whites and the darks.
I've gone so I converted to black and white in Lightroom, and I go to the colors panel, And I might increase the purple or the yellow or the orange or decrease it in order to get it black or lighter. So I've gone in essence, put a filter on the flower to get the contrast I want.
Do you have the color version of this one or one of the other ones that have
Yeah,
that?
don't let me forget. I'll dig it up.
All right.
Oh, maybe we're going in a circle. We are. We'll look at this one.
While you're looking, Dennis, the other thing I'll compliment you for is how many different types of compositions that you've got in that series of photos.
Yeah.
You did a really nice job mixing it up so they don't all look the same, if you will.
Yeah. Let me see what I got here. Yeah, this is a Photoshop file. Let me look at a different one. There's a CR2 file. And if I toggle color, black and white.
Okay.
So I can go down here and I can, that's too much, but I can bring in a black or purple.
Gotcha.
You know, that's why you don't have you don't use a camera with black and white only capability, in my opinion. I mean, you can spend $6,000 on a light if you want to. You see, it changes the shadows.
Yeah.
Not just the red. So if it was all white, you have less opportunity to do that.
Right.
What was that? So, and I did try, and it's an interesting one because I like this diagonal of 3 flowers, and this is I guess it's a mum, and you see these folded in petals. You ask about what that one shot was. It's cut out of the heart of a flower, so that's all you see. But if I go to black and white here, I have trouble with the fact that the fence in the back is an orange brown and the flowers are an orange brown. So I can't get any contrast between the flowers and the background. So I didn't go any further with that.
Go back to the color on that, Dennis, please.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure Lightroom now has the color range masking.
Yeah, it might have, Jim, but
Could you apply that to the flowers and then do your black and white adjustments, your color adjustments on the masked flowers?
yeah, I don't know how to do that. What'd you call it?
The color range mask?
No, I'll look it up, but I don't know how to do that. And Suzanne asked about this, you see it on the left side of the screen, noise reduction, ISO adaptive, plus remove chromatic aberration.
Yeah.
Do a search on Greg Benz, and he makes a program called Lumenzia, which allows you to mask based on luminosity, which is conceptually quite neat. But I haven't made a lot of progress on using it. But this is a standalone tool, and you click it. I don't know if I can show it or not.
So that doesn't come with Lightroom.
No, that's a separate.
Separate, tool. All right.
Yeah, you can see it. If you watch in this color area, as I click it on, there's a very subtle change in the sharpness. Very subtle.
Yeah.
See?
I see it. Almost pixelates it.
Yeah, well, I'm zoomed to, I don't know what. Now you can see individual
One-
pixels.
1,600, 1,000, or I don't know. I can't see up there.
Yeah. And, you know, it's easy to do. And in the black and white aspect, it's a nice improvement because you run it at ISO 2000, which you normally wouldn't do. But without some sort of external light or a tripod, your chances are much less restricted. Or you can, you know, and you can't handhold at f20 and have a decent shutter speed.
Right.
So this is a nice compromise. It's one of the most useful tools he's done for me.
So Dennis, do me a favor, going back to the concept of the color range masking, pick like your gradient tool, I think. Just go ahead and select the gradient tool.
Yeah.
Select it. Okay, now let me take a look. Down towards the very bottom of the box, it says range mask off.
Hold on. I can get where I see it. Use fine adjustment.
So it's yeah. So keep on going down. You got 5 sliders or so. Go below the sliders. It says range mask
Oh, yeah,
off.
yeah.
Turn that on.
It won't let me do it.
Maybe it doesn't work with the gradient. Go to the brush tool then. I thought Lightroom enabled this thing.
There you are.
Okay, well now it's still next little sub box down is the range mask.
Yeah, still won't
Won't let you take that on. Okay.
No, it won't let me.
I thought that was, obviously it's there. Why it won't let you do it, I don't use Lightroom, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll save that for next
The
time.
color range is in that selection.
Yeah. Well, I'll work a little bit on that. So that's FIPS. I find it very target rich and it's comfortable. And we do the annual membership, so it doesn't cost anything extra. And you know, we went to the fall show probably half a dozen times.
I saw DL just put a link to some information on the range masking.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
And I think it's both color and luminosity are the 2 choices you have. And whether the luminosity is as sophisticated as that plugin that you have, I really have no idea. But I thought they added that sometime within the last year or so.
Thanks, Dennis. Those are really beautiful.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. I'm going to have to make a trip down there again.
Yeah, sure.
Really
Go for the
nice.
Christmas show. And I don't know what we've been to the nighttime Christmas show. And I don't find it very photogenic. It's dark. So, and you have a lot of points of light. But I do like the daytime aspect because they put a lot of work into those flowers. And now you actually, with the restrictions on the tickets, you get some time and some space where you can go and make several exposures. You can get close or you can get far away without running over anybody or getting run over.
I like
I
that.
don't know how it's going to be at nighttime. Were we going to look at the three juried photos?
SWG meeting
Oh, SWG meeting. All right.
next week.
Next week, Thursday night's Thanksgiving.
It's,
They were
I think
doing
it's
it
Wednesday night. Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, we're
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's not next Thursday because that's Thanksgiving, but I guess we could have it because no one's allowed to have Thanksgiving anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, hush up. You're going to go to Sheets anyway, which you always do.
Yeah, I know.
Open 24 hours a day. We've had Christmas dinner at Sheets.
Oh, I have on many occasions. That's where I go.
Maybe we should all just go to Sheets.
Yeah. They make the best sauerkraut hot dogs in the world.
I just had 2 hot dogs a little bit ago, and I got a salad waiting for me after dinner, after the meeting tonight.
Thanksgiving, I'm thinking the Chinese buffet, and for Christmas, it's going to be sushi.
Hey, sounds good. I'm right along with you on that.
I could do the sushi. I'm not so big on Chinese buffets.
No, I can do it all. Definitely like the sushi. With wasabi sauce. Can't have it without that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to celebrate it probably the day before when the restaurants are open. I'm going to have takeout. I don't want any leftovers. None whatsoever. Nor do I want to cook.
Fun part.
Huh?
That was the fun part, especially when
Yeah, well,
I was a
this
kid.
fun part would eat too much, so I'm not going to do it. I'm very
My mom
strict.
would make turkey curry and then turkey enchiladas, and we just kind of would go around the world with turkey in everything.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I love turkey curry. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So does
The
enchilada.
recipe,
Yeah,
because it works with everything.
yeah. Yeah, I use turkey in so many different recipes because I don't eat meat, of course.
Yeah.
I just eat fowl and fish. So,
We need to eat more fish, but my husband makes this weird face every time I say that we're having fish for dinner.
oh man, I eat it at least twice a week. I'm ready for some good Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
I'd like to just hop in the car and take a run.
What time we leaving?
We can leave tonight for all I care.
They'll make you quarantine when you get there.
Not if they don't know. I got a Texas emblem on my car. I got Texas license plate I can put on the back. You'll never know.
I don't know, Margie, your Western Pennsylvania accent might give you away if you went to Texas.
You betcha, huh?
No, we're going into a place where they barely speak English. You don't care what accent we have.
That's right.
You know, I just saw my cousins Monday. They were back here selling their parents' home because they passed away, and I haven't seen them in like probably 20 years. They live in Austin, Texas.
Ooh,
So
the young town.
yeah, my cousin Jerry, he said he bought the oldest racetrack in Texas. And I wrote the name down, but I don't have it in front of me right now. But they kind of rescued it. They were planning on tearing it down, and they restored it. And he said they had like 260 cars racing there the other
Wow.
week.
Yeah.
And he said like almost everything is closed in that area out there except for their racetrack. So he said like everybody, they have real regulars go out there, but he was showing me some pictures of the cars they build. I guess it's called specialty cars. It kind of looked real boxy looking. And then they have regular stock cars out there. And they have motorcycles. He had a picture of himself jumping over parked cars on his motorcycle. And this guy's almost as old as I am, so that was pretty impressive. And he lives on a lake out there, and I can't think of the name of the lake, but they have a beautiful house out there. And he said the Austin area is more like Western Pennsylvania. They have hills and that there too. So it looked really beautiful.
They have hills, but they don't have mountains like we do. And but it is really pretty. Austin is for a young generation. It's sort of a second Nashville. The artists go to Austin, very creative people. So we look at it as the younger generation, the town.
My brother, uncle, and my mother all live down in that Austin area.
Yeah. My brother lives in Austin.
Yeah. It's a
He's
nice
only 3
town.
years younger than I am.
I'm saying the majority, this is where the young people were going.
There's a lot
There
of
are
tech
old
stuff
people
there.
there. I mean, not old people, but you know.
I don't know. My uncle's pretty old.
No, okay.
He's almost. What is he?
Yeah, well, as you go further west, you get into the mountains. We have, there's desert, there's flatland. I'm a flatlander. And you go to the hill country, then you go to the cliffs, and then you have the mountains. So, it takes you probably, I think it took me about 15 hours just to go across.
Yeah, I'd like to go out there again. We did go to Fort Worth for, my son's wrestling match last year, and I liked it. But
I like Dallas. I really do.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
hilly too.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to live in Dallas.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of Texas.
Jim went in the coldest months of the year. He went to Padre Island.
So Margie, I would describe it, I go when there's the least amount of tourist potential. Whether it's hot or cold I'm indifferent to. But yeah, I was at Padre Island, but the highlight of that trip really is, Margie said 15 hours going across Texas.
Yeah.
She's probably not exaggerating by 15 minutes. I know everybody knows that Texas is a large state, but until you've driven, you don't realize how big the state is. But we drove from not El Paso, Corpus Christi. Up to
Amarillo.
No, what's straight north of Corpus Christi? I can't.
You got Waco. North of Corpus Christi, you got
just a part way up the state.
Well, Victoria. Then of course Galveston. You've got all of the.
Well, okay. Anyway, I went north part way, and then I traveled west. The destination was Big Bend National Park.
Yeah.
And it started giving me, because El Paso is on the far west end of the state, and
Right.
it kept on telling me miles to El Paso. And starting mid-state, it was like 800 miles to El Paso.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So I forget how many hours it took us to get to North Bend, but
Did you
it's
go
a
the speed?
beautiful national park.
Did you go the speed limit?
I
What-
normally go like 5 or 10 above the speed limit, depending what the speed limit is.
Well, heck, in Texas,
Right.
you could go faster, can't you?
You could
In
try
Texas,
about
Oh, I
Yeah,
go
5 or
80,
10.
90, 100. Yeah.
Margie, I'm surprised he's not still in Texas.
I know it.
I'm surprised I'm still not there.
Jim, when we were down there, I had to drive 90 mile an hour in a tropical storm, rainstorm,
Yeah. Yeah.
from getting killed.
But you know what? The
And it
interstate,
wasn't raining; it was 110 mile an hour.
there really was no traffic on the interstates.
And that was on the side streets.
Yeah.
Well, see, Jim, you could have went 120.
I don't think so.
I woke up one time when Margie was driving. I looked down, and the yellow lines, the yellow dotted lines, were a single straight line. It was like a warp speed in Star Wars.
Well, there's flat land. You're going to see 100 miles away if there's a cop, and we don't have deer on every, block.
Yeah.
Goats, but not deer.
You have to watch out for those armadillos.
I thought the only speed.
I forget whether you told me. Had you been to North Bend? I'm sorry, not North Bend, Big Bend?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's not a part of Texas I hadn't been to.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you'd been there or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you been there, Jim?
We were there 2 or 3 years ago now.
I've never been.
It's pretty impressive as national parks go.
Yeah. We went to through Guadalupe National Park on the way to Arizona once.
Well, I tell you what, this has nothing to do with photography, but the one memory that stands out for me on the trip to Big Bend is it's along the Rio Grande River. And at the park location, at least when we were there, the river was very shallow, and you could easily walk from the US to Mexico or vice versa without fear of drowning or anything. But what was really funny is, and I'm pretty sure this was national park property, there was a Mexicans across the river who, and we learned this after the fact, every day would cross the river with some trinkets, some souvenir type things,
Yeah.
and jewelry and whatnot. And they would put them at this one location near I forget the name of that area of the park, but it's where people would come down to actually go and see the Rio Grande. And they would cross the river, back across the river, and they would just hang out on the far shore within viewing distance of where they had set out these things. There was a little jar where you could put money, and they had price tags on it. And we bought a couple of trinkets and put our money in the cup. And then we kind of waved across the river to them, kind of thanking them. But apparently at the end of the day, they would cross back across the river and pick up their money and goods and take them back. And it sounded like the National Park Service basically let it go on. It was illegal, but they would just kind of turn their back and let the Mexicans make a few bucks from the US visitors.
Rio Grande can get really rapidy. I mean, it can really have some good, the water can really move. It gets deep. Just like some of our rivers around here, they go down shallow, and then, you get a lot of rain. You've got the rapids almost. So that's where the Rio Grande is.
You were probably smuggling smuggling.
Maybe.
All kinds of United States is beautiful. There's everything. There's something beautiful about every state, but up here, it's eye candy for a photographer. It is. I guess because I'm used to seeing all of the Arizona, New Mexico, and, California. I've lived in all these places. But when I came up to Pennsylvania, it was like, wow, because I'd never been to Pennsylvania. So when I got up here in 2011, it's really beautiful.
That's really nice to hear. Why have you lived in so many different places, Margie?
Well, there's two reasons. My father, construction, he started off carpenter and we had our own company. And then he got into construction. So we moved all over the United States. And then I married a guy who was in the Navy. And we moved not only all over different parts of the United States, but also several places overseas. So I've been, different. This is probably one of the longest places I've been besides Texas, Galveston, Texas. When I married Billy, well, he hadn't even been out of the state of Texas. I could not imagine. And he started traveling a little bit, but he's just an old country boy. He lived out in the middle of I think they had a combination grocery store, bar, filling station. That was what he had in his town. So, totally country boy, cattle, the whole works. So I sort of settled down after that.
So Margie, this is the question for you. Can you identify that location?
Yeah, that's, come on, help me out.
Santa?
I want to say, I see myself driving through that area. So give me a second. I'm having a senior moment. It's
All right.
it's what is that? It's either, I know it's going towards El Paso, Big Bend. What is the other place? I'm having a senior moment.
Well, it's called a canyon, but it is in Big Bend. I was curious if you knew what the name of the canyon was.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to tell you that because
Okay.
it's been a while since I've been.
I could be mistaken. It's Santa Elena, I believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't been through Big Bend since 2000 and 2000. That was the last time. Because I drove the long way around. Oh, I drove back because I went across the Rockies to go to Washington, D.C. Not D.C., Washington State. And my mom was passing away at the time. So I went through Wyoming, which I tell you is the worst state out of all the states is Wyoming. Bad luck state. Every time I go through there, something horrible happens. And we had a freak snowstorm. 18-wheelers were on their side. It was bad. And then I went across the Rocky, which was really dangerous at that time because of the storm. And I decided, no, I'm going to go down south and cross through Texas that way. And that's the way I came back. Farther out of the way, but it was better for me, going through New Mexico and Arizona. The mountains weren't so bad there like they are at the Rockies. If y'all ever been to the Rockies?
Times.
Yep. Then Beth, what I'm talking about, those the hairpin curves that they have up there.
Yeah.
No
You're
way.
supposed to go 90.
Small. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Came close to going off the side a couple of times.
Yeah. Let me show you one. Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't going to move up here because I heard there were mountains. But these aren't really mountains. These are little baby or big hills to me.
Hills.
Yeah.
I grew up not far from the Adirondacks. Those are a
Yeah.
little bit bigger than what's around
Yeah.
here.
I'll show you a photo here. Where's that at?
That looks like Arizona.
No, on the way
Here
to
it
it.
is.
I think it's Guadalupe National Park.
I've never been to that one.
That's heading west out of the park with this wonderful cloud above this mountain.
Arizona's got a lot of the cliffs like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
we can't give a screen. Oh, there it is. All right. That was the first time we went.
Well, there's a lot of beautiful country out there.
Yep.
And one for the COVID, I'd be in my car traveling right now.
Yeah, us too.
Oh, we got quiet all of a sudden.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have a short sequence of photos handy for Big Bend National Park. But speaking of national parks, I know I have a small group for Olympic National Park in Washington, which is another really great national park that we've been to not too long ago. So let me see if I can find those.
Last time I was in Washington, or the time before last, you're talking about state or?
Well, the state of Washington, Olympic National Park, yes.
Yeah. They had, St. Helen had blown. Now that was interesting. I lost all those pictures, but it was all the trees flat, totally flat down the whole mountain.
My youngest son, Stephen, and a couple of friends of his went out there 2 or 3 years ago and hiked to what is now what's left of the top of Mount St. Helens.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's still active. I don't know if it is or not. But I know it blew that whole area totally apart. It was amazing to see what it did. There wasn't a tree standing.
Okay, if you want to bear with me here, I'll share my screen for Olympic. So we stayed, Olympic is a huge national park. It's like in a large peninsula there, on the northwest coast of Washington. And there's really no interior roads across the park. It's a ring road that maybe every 50 miles or so has a short road that goes in somewhere towards the interior of the park. But they have 3 lodges at different locations, and we stayed at 2 of the different lodges. This first one is called Lake Crescent, and I got this as a sunset photo. But what's really unique about Olympic is the varied geography. It's got literally everything there. This next one is I'm not sure if that's a hemlock or some type of a pine there. but just immense old ancient trees. And then lots of flowing water. This waterfall had 3 different discharges coming out of it off the side, which was kind of cool. And lots of wildlife. They have mountains in the interior that are pretty magnificent. This was in September we were there. So the snow that you see on this would have been snow left over, I'm pretty sure, from the previous winter that just hadn't melted off completely. And then it goes along the coastline. And this picture reminds me this was our first afternoon when we got to the coast. And I had just bought my Fuji X-T2 camera, well, I guess it was probably 9 months before, because this was September. I would have gotten it around Christmas of that year, previous year. And the Fuji was supposedly water resistant, and I didn't really know what water resistant meant or didn't mean. But I took it to this beach, and we got caught in a downpour. And although I was a little bit dressed for the rain, I got every inch of me, all my clothing was completely soaked. And over the course of the next few days, my camera began acting rather strangely. And by the time I got it home, it had stopped working completely and sent it in for repair. It was unrepairable, so I had to purchase a new camera at that point in time. Fortunately, I had insurance on the camera, so it didn't cost me a whole lot. But the coastline there was just spectacular with the huge pieces of driftwood there. That's a tide pool there along the coast.
Anemones, yeah.
There's a section of the coast, and you can see down through, well, you can see the size of the people, but their, quote, driftwood, in some cases are literally huge chunks of, or tree trunks, just a complete trunk. That wasn't the day I got soaked, but that was another day where it was fairly stormy out. And then on that western coast, it's rainforest. So it just, again, the scenery is just completely different depending on where you are within the park. And that's in the general area of these up in here would be some rainforest area in here. And then trees that are just ridiculously huge. This one is supposedly the world's largest Sitka spruce. And it's not an optical illusion. It's that big. I forget how many hundreds of feet high it was, but it was just ridiculous.
That's a spruce?
It's called a Sitka spruce.
Wow. Amazes me.
And then that's along the coast as well. There was a lodge that we stayed at right off of this coastline here.
You fly out there, Jim, or drive?
We flew out to Seattle and spent half a week in Vancouver and then came down to Olympic. We spent probably about a week in Olympic. And that's the end of those. But it's just the variety of the scenery there is just really impressive. It's a nice park. I'd recommend it.
You're making me want to get in a car right now and take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were
That's one of the ones I want to go to.
Get one of those Airstream Mercedes chassis campers.
Yeah, yeah. I'd probably be stopped at the border, though, with the COVID.
You can count on it. But you can sneak across. They won't care.
Drive really fast.
Yeah.
And thanks for showing us pictures,
Oh,
Jim.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Not.
Really beautiful.
I like seeing different places y'all been to.
We try to get to as many national parks as we can.
I've heard there's a lot of them, though, that won't let you have a dog, won't let you take your dog in.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I hope
If I
that.
go, I'm going to take my dogs. So, something I'd have to check out beforehand. I got a dog on the floor right now, cutting Z's like nobody's business. Brian, I took over Angel and Marissa's dog. So I got an extra doggy in the house.
Oh, the little one.
About 13,
Yeah.
14. She's old. She's blind in one eye. Third stage in heart disease. And, just having a hard time. And I'm pretty good. I'm in the process of
Okay.
treating her right now.
You're muted, Annie.
Hmm?
Annie's muted.
Ma, what'd you say?
It's time for us to shut down Zoom.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Meeting's over.
I
Annie,
love you all too.
Annie, a technical question on framing. Can you provide framed acrylic fronted prints instead of glass? So I have a print framed, and the one you did for me, you did in glass. Can I get it in acrylic? The glazing.
I don't have any idea. I've not even seen anything come in yet on the printed specialty.
No, I'm talking about the glazing of in the frame.
The glazing on the
Yeah.
frame?
Instead of glass, can I get acrylic?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we carry the acrylic in the shop. It's a little more expensive, but we still have it.
Okay.
Because we have we have both the regular acrylic, and then we have like the masterpiece, like the two different types of glass that we have.
Yeah.
We have a masterpiece acrylic, and it can be cut to size.
All right.
Yep.
How's business been?
Steady. Not quite as bad as it was last month. I was getting killed last month. I had, quite a few days. I had like 18, 15 pieces to get out for the day, but not quite as many right now. But we have a good sale going on this week. We have a 60 plus 25 again. So.
Oh, good. I've got 18 postcards that I want to be put into a.
Don't even go there, girl. I had some lady come in yesterday. She had all these postcards. They're by a particular artist. They were in a little book, and she ripped them all out. She wanted 15 of them put in one frame and 8 of them put lengthwise in another frame. I had not done anything like that. And then because of the way they were printed, they would all have to be done as a float. It was a mess, and I got screwed up. My computer screwed up on me. It froze on me. I ended up walking away. I called one other girl that works there that I knew she knew how to do that. It was a mess, at least for me, because it was something new. I've done multiple openings, but not that many at one time, like 15, because even though it's being done as a float frame, each one has to be marked as like an opening. It would. was not one of my better moments, shall I say. I mean, I told the lady, and then I guess after I walked away, she told the girl that was waiting on her, she said, I don't want her working on my stuff. Like, my framing techniques has nothing to do with me being able to put this stuff in the computer. Was not one of my finer moments, but you'll have this. I'm still learning. So,
Annie, Brian, and I are getting ready to go to Texas border. You want to join us
yeah, when are we going to Texas?
tonight, tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night? I can't do that tomorrow night, sorry. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday. Yep, Beth. Absolutely.
Anybody been in the new casino?
No, they're only allowing people in right now if you have an invite.
I didn't get mine.
I didn't get mine either.
The 24th, I think it opens.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
The 24th is the grand opening, but yeah, right now though, since this past weekend, actually since sometime last week, there's been people in the casino every night.
Yeah.
But it's only by invite. You know, they had, I think it was Sunday night, they had a, some kind of a,
Ribbon cutting.
yeah, well, they had a ribbon cutting, and then it was a fundraiser. So, like I said, it was only by invite. So, but the place has been busy. They had something going on tonight too.
Yeah.
It was by invite. I wasn't invited. So, but it looks like it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, I hope it works.
Yeah. Hope it brings some more business into the area
Yeah, I hope so
The
too.
mall.
and into the mall.
Yeah, that's becoming dead there. A lot of places closing down.
Well, I haven't been in the mall actually for a while. So, but
You
the
mean
mall's been getting busier.
the mall out where Michael's is out your way, Annie? Are you
Yeah.
talking about that mall?
Westmoreland Mall.
Yep. Yeah, they put the casino in what used to be the Bonton and at the back part of the mall there. But the
Got a
mall
lot of money.
itself has been the restaurants have all been really busy. And the mall itself has been busy. There have been a lot of people going in there. So we've been busy. It was crazy over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Those retailers need that money, so do the restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. So what else is new on here?
We're all caught out.
What's that?
I said, we've already talked our way out.
Well, I had a couple stops to make and want to make my mom's birthday. We can't actually go in, but she'll be 83 tomorrow. So I got 30 cupcakes to share and a couple balloons for her. I have a wrist corsage ordered. I bought her a couple new shirts and bought her a party hat.
Good.
So they're gonna bring my mom to the front window.
Well, it's supposed to be up in the 60s tomorrow.
Yeah, so it should be a little warmer. So my
Would it
brother's
Too cold for her to go out?
probably. They said they'll bring her to the front window, and then I can call her,
Okay.
so we can talk to her, see her.
Yeah.
How's everybody been doing in there?
Good. They had one person came down with COVID, but they had gone to rehab. And when they got back, they tested that particular person and they tested positive. So they've quarantined that particular person, hasn't even been in with the rest of them. They've been taking all their food and everything right to their room. So, but that was the only case, but that was the only reason that person, because they had gone to rehab, and I guess they picked it up there. So other than that, everybody's been tested negative. They tested them again today, so I'm not sure how that test went yet. So, but yeah, other than that, everything's been good. So I'd just like to be able to see my mom. She's having a little bit of problems. She's not handling the isolation very well.
Yeah, sure.
She's
None
getting
of
a
us
little, well,
Sore.
yeah, she's getting a little combative. So her doctor ordered some anti-anxiety medication for her.
Well, that can be her problems anyway. They start
Yeah,
becoming
right.
more.
But when she can't
Yeah.
understand, it's just
Yep. You're right.
it's even harder.
Yeah, it is.
So
I saw one nursing home on TV where they have a bubble out front where the occupants can come out and hug. They have arms, it's all plastic, and they actually come out and hug the members of their family.
yeah, I know my mom needs that.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disinfect it afterwards, very, really good, and till the next person comes. And you can
Yeah.
hug her back. They have arm holds for you to hug her back.
Yep.
All nursing homes need something like that.
Yeah, they do. Because it's so hard whenever they're having problems remembering anything that and they just need hugged.
Yep.
It's good for their soul. So
What time's her party tomorrow?
about 11 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, that's good.
right before they eat lunch, so that they can have their cupcakes for dessert.
Well, that'll make everybody's day.
Yeah.
That's good.
I can't take any candles though. Well, I may be able to take one candle and have them put it on my mom's individual cupcake, but can't put multiple on there.
Yeah. Cupcake wouldn't hold it.
No, just because of COVID, they're blowing out the candles, all that stuff. Not
How
going
many,
to
how many members are in the home?
there's only like 40 people total in there.
Need small group. That's nice.
Yeah, so there's like 16 on my mom's floor.
Okay.
So it's 2 floors, and each floor has their own kitchen and dining area. So I don't think they've been keeping everybody like separate, like whoever's downstairs stays downstairs, whoever's upstairs stays upstairs. So,
That's good.
they don't, I don't, for the most part, I don't think they're going up and, they did, but I don't think they've been doing that.
Yeah.
So it makes it nice. A little easier, I think, for them to handle everything.
Brian said he's going to check with the zoo to make sure that they are going to be open this weekend. Oh, you weren't going to be able to go.
I can go.
You can. Well, you may not be able to. Brian's going to check because they're shutting down some parts of Allegheny.
Oh, crap.
Allegheny County came out with a stay-at-home advisory today.
Oh,
So I'll be watching to see if the zoo changes its mind, if it's going to be open or not. But right now it says that it's open.
okay. What's the temperature supposed to be like on Sunday?
Somewhere between 0 and 100.
Above freezing,
Thanks.
I think.
I figured somewhere in around there. I was just wondering.
I think
Supposed
actually
to be-
mid-50s, but
Yeah,
What?
it's supposed to be 60 tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in
Yeah.
Yep.
tomorrow, but I think it's in the 50s Sunday. But
Yeah,
Higher
56.
54. Yeah,
57,
That's nice.
7.
Yeah,
Depending upon where you're at, I guess.
Yep.
depending on, and there might be rain.
No, it says here it's supposed to be a little cloudy, but sun.
The rain,
Monday
the
is
rain's
calling for rain.
evening.
Okay.
No rain.
As of today. Yeah.
As of right now.
Mine shows 40%, Annie, so you're wrong.
You know, it could be snowing and raining here and sunshine in Latrobe.
No
So,
kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but okay.
yeah, and you and I have argued a couple of times over what we see on weather.
Well, yeah, you was snowing the other day at your place, and I had rain, so
Did anybody get out and do the meteor stars?
No. It's too late.
Yeah, I know it was like a couple days ago, but I just was wondering if anybody went out.
What have you been up to, Melissa?
Not too much. Well, I don't know. A little bit of everything.
You've been out taking pictures?
I was doing some senior pictures. I've done some dog holiday pictures. I have.
How'd
some-
those go?
Huh?
Oh, well, the puppy pictures.
Oh, they turned out really good. The one.
Why don't you
the
show us
tree-
some?
Oh. I could show you. I just closed down Lightroom.
While Melissa's looking for photos, Brian sent a link out for a photo in the chat. I just opened it up. That was pretty good, Brian.
Yeah, I see the.
I saw the link, but I haven't downloaded it.
It's amusing.
It comes from Brian. It's bound to be.
I've seen that a few times. It's amazing the things that they predicted.
Oh. Yeah, that's for sure. We're all getting pretty weary of this. I know.
Absolutely.
Now, some of these pictures, they're of the trainer that I go to for Ziba. I'm going to do a holiday
Hard like thing.
well, I'm going to actually go on, if I can get rid of this, I am actually going on December 5th. We're going to do a real quick one shot. She has a lineup like every 15 minutes. Different people are going to be there for one photo of their dog.
Oh, cool.
So this one, we went and did like a trial run to get everything set up because it's at her facility. But also, this is her older dog. I think she's about 13 years, but she had been sick.
Aw.
And she was afraid that she was not going to make it until December 5th. So we went and I was able to do some pictures for her with this older dog in her bed with the Christmas setup. And then she has his name's Chaos. He is 11, but he is very energetic. I couldn't believe that he was 11 years old. He's very well disciplined. She was able to get him to wear the Santa hat and glasses with the book.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Cute dogs beside you.
What are you using for a light?
I had 2 flashes.
Yes. Other dogs can
Yeah. I'm about out of it for the evening. My brain's starting to go. Off on camera, the camera flashes, the portable flashes. I had them set up on stands.
Yeah.
But we really liked that one because it looked like he was reading the book.
Yeah.
But he was a ham. He really
Posed.
Yeah, with those glasses on.
All dogs love that lamb.
Yes. Yeah. I'm struggling with the backdrops. I'm going to have to try to iron them again to get all I just can't. I don't like using backdrops. I don't like it. But we just did a couple of them, so.
What's your color scheme? You have light green and dark green.
On my screen?
Yeah.
Actually, they're all green. I don't know why some of them are light.
Hmm.
You know what? I bet you that some of the light, the light ones are the ones that are just in Lightroom, and the darker green must be the ones that came over from Photoshop. But I use the color scheme and numbers when I do my photos.
Yeah.
Or stars. So I will star something, go through it and see how it looks. And as I'm editing, I'll use yellow, kind of like it's almost done, but there's something that needs to be done on it.
Yeah.
And then when it's done and I like the way it looks, I'll put it to green because greens go.
And
Sense.
you do your shoots by date of shoot?
Yeah. Yeah, I do everything by date.
Your keyword?
I do use keywords. Did I put keywords on this one? Yes.
Oh, you do a lot.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything because I never know which way
Yep, sure.
be easier to search for.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do by date, and then I do by search by keyword. So
Nice, thank you.
Yep. Now, is that backdrop, is it lighter in the middle?
it is lighter, but I also did it to bring out midtones in it because so it does look even lighter than what it is because it was wrinkled. I can't get the wrinkles to stay out of it.
Mhm.
I hate using backdrops.
How about a steamer? Have you tried a steamer?
I tried the steamer. I think it's just the material. It doesn't. I don't like it. Maybe if I paid a couple $100 for a really good backdrop, it might be different.
Yeah.
I just don't have the money for that kind of a backdrop at this time.
Wonder if Rex has any more to sell, or did he sell all of his?
No.
Where did you get it at, Melissa?
Amazon.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I was thinking too, maybe Rex might have something.
Yeah, I don't know.
You might be able to put something weighted across, like where your floor part and your backdrop meet. Put something weighted there to help pull it down.
I did try taping it down, but the tape didn't
Yeah,
hold.
that's not going to work. You need almost like a metal pole, something to kind of
Maybe sew apart a metal bar.
like this. Put it right there at the crease.
Yeah.
The only thing is then they show in the picture. You can see that in the picture.
Not if you sew it. If you make it like a curtain rod, you put them, and then put a metal bar in there, then it'll just
Yeah.
flatten it out.
Beth has a show and tell here.
Clip these on the bottom and to like put it so that it's a little bit, maybe an inch or two too long, and put these on the bottom so that they go behind it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have a
These
bunch of
are
those.
the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I have I got like a little piece of carpet, and I put my backdrop there, and then I put the carpet over top of the floor part and kind of pull it tight, and then I have it clamped on the sides to stand, trying to get the wrinkles out.
Yeah, I've actually seen professionals on their videos. Some of the really good, National Geographic is one of them. And he's used sheets for a backdrop, but they're weighted down. He'll weight them down. So, I mean, you can get very creative on a lot of your backdrops.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see any wrinkles in your photos.
No, I didn't either.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's good. I can see them all. I can still see them after doing the quick edit that I did on them for her. So, but you always, where they're at,
Yeah.
so. But
Yeah, you always pick up something that somebody else may not notice.
Yeah.
Did you figure out how to tether your camera to your computer?
No, and I told her I'm not going to do that because there's so many people signing up to get these pictures. I said, I'm not even going to mess around trying to do a quick, even a push button edit. I'm not. I said, I'll email everybody their picture.
You know,
Smart move.
when we were in Connecticut, the photography club would do at Christmas time photos for families in need. And we might do a couple hundred. But what we did was we tethered to Lightroom. We had lights, but you had somebody photograph and somebody manage the Lightroom aspect, and we would generate a print on the spot. And if you get enough people, barring, and you tether with a cable, but that actually worked pretty well. But you got to have somebody do it.
Yeah, it's just me by myself. And
Yeah, that would be virtually impossible.
Yeah, I can't do it all by myself in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Not knowing how the dog's going to be to even take pictures.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say just 15 minutes, hard enough to set up a pup.
Yeah.
Well, that was a really nice thing to do, Dennis.
Yeah, it was. We did it for a couple of years.
Yeah, great
It was
idea.
event. It was in Danbury, Connecticut, and they would do. It was like Toys for Tots. They'd have 100 bicycles that somebody had donated. So families would come and they would get toys, and if they wanted, they could get a family photo that they could print it on demand that they could take home with them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
You have to be able to speak Spanish, though.
Oh.
No Portuguese. But we had somebody who could, so.
Well,
Are we done for the night?
I think so. I don't know, maybe the other two. What?
I don't know if I'll be here Wednesday or not. But if we're not, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, you too.
You too.
You
You.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Dennis.
I'll see you at Cheats, Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might
3
see
o'clock
all
in the
of
morning.
us at Sheets.
Yeah, open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
So we're going to have next, the NSIG or the SWG on the 25th, you said?
Next Wednesday.
Wednesday
All
night.
right, that's the 25th.
Yep.
All right.
And Jim, did you get my email about the password change?
I did. Yeah. In fact, while we were on the call, I just checked, make sure I could get in, and I could. Thank you.
Okay. That wasn't me. That was Constant Contact making me change it. So.
I think the last couple of times I went on there,
Yeah, it was
flash up
complaining
said
about it.
suggested
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's been the same for
Since
a
I
year and a
started
half.
it.
So,
Oh, hey, Brian.
Yes.
Since it looks, are all of the officers on the call right now? Could we spend a couple of minutes after this? I just had one subject to bring up.
Sure.
See y'all.
All right. We'll see you, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
Bye.
Yeah.
Enjoyed your
Bye.
pictures.
Hey, we're not in trouble, are we, Jim?
Yeah, I stay in trouble, so.
I don't know. You never know.
No.
We're not in trouble. We're not doing it right.
That's right, I agree.
Well, thanks for all the tips. I really appreciate, all the advice you've given me. I got to get out there and follow up on things, but thanks a lot.
All righty.
Hey, you got,
Oh, Suzanne, by the way, Pat and I went out to Feathers sometime, I guess it was late last week, and going through all the photos. And I said, well, Pat, just out of curiosity, do you have a favorite? And she said, I really like that one with the black cat in the window.
oh,
So you got Pat's vote.
oh,
Bye.
thank you.
By the way, Suzanne, Tracy and her daughter both love that picture of the kitty cat, because the other day when I stopped down there, Tracy had both of her kitty cats in the store. The black one that she said looks like the one in your photo, and then she has one that's a tiger stripe. And I asked her daughter which was her favorite. She said that her favorite one is the one with the cat. And Tracy made the comment to me that she's thinking of buying that one and your Indian.
Oh my.
So
What was the other one?
her Indian photo.
Oh, okay.
Tracy really likes both of them.
I have to give my husband some credit for the cat photo because we were driving by and I saw the cat on the ledge and I made him stop the car. And I got out of the car and took the photo like pretty much in the street. So he just tolerates me. Well, thanks, guys, and everybody have a good evening then.
Good night, Suzanne.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.